Hi everyone! So last year I made a video in which I combed through and compared Google search analytics for basically every K-pop group I could think of in order to determine the most popular K-pop groups in each US state. That video was incredibly tedious to make and I still get hate comments on it almost every day, so naturally, I've decided to do something similar. Since it's currently still Pride Month, I thought it might be fun to statistically determine which K-pop groups are the most popular among those in the LGBT+ community. Now, if we look at it from a logical perspective, it stands to reason that BTS would have the highest number of LGBT+ fans because they are the most recognizable K-pop group in the world and have the biggest fan base overall. But, in order to calculate how popular they are within the LGBT+ community specifically, we would need to figure out what percentage of their fan base identifies as being LGBT+. Unfortunately though, there's not really like a K-pop census or anything like that, which means to extract data on the subject, I have to rely a lot on my own personal experiences as a lesbian K-pop fan. However, I still wanted to keep things as fair, unbiased, and fact-based as possible, which is why I've devised a grading system featuring the following 5 categories, each of which will receive a score from 1 to 10. Number 1 is how popular they are in San Francisco, which is the gay capital of the United States, compared to other cities in California. Number 2 is how many of their songs were played at the official Seoul Pride Parade over the last 2 years. Honestly, I would have done more years, but I couldn't find any definitive data before 2018, and I didn't want to leave anything out. Number 3 is how much evidence I can find of the LGBT+ community supporting that group. And number 4 is how much evidence I could find of the group supporting the LGBT+ community, because I feel like that is an equally important contributing factor. And finally, number 5 is my personal opinion as a person within the desired demographic. Note that this isn't necessarily my personal opinion on the group, but how popular they seem in the community based on my own personal experiences. Note that this is a list for groups only, so no solo artists. Maybe I'll do it again at some point with individual idols, but for now, we just have groups. 20 of them, in fact. So, out of the nearly 50 K-pop groups I tested, here are the ones with the gayest fan bases. It's no secret that these boys are popular among gay men. I mean, with just a quick Google search, I was able to find not one, but 2 separate articles claiming that Dio, or Kyungsu, is one of the favorite idols among gay men in Korea. Also, I personally know several queer people who are into Baekhyun, Sehun, and Kai. EXO may not be the most adamant supporters of the queer community, but they are at the very least aware that they have a lot of male fans, and they aren't afraid to lean into it and acknowledge them and have fun with each other, which is nice. I feel like I don't really need to say all that much about Super Junior. We all know why gay people like them. Is it a little cringy and queerbaity? I mean, yeah, but Heechul in the past has also purposefully avoided denying rumors about him being gay because he, quote, doesn't want to offend any of his fans who happen to be gay. Also, Super Junior songs are nothing short of iconic, and we know that gays love a good icon. Emo rock music performed by gorgeous Korean ladies with lots of artistry and difficult choreography? Yeah, seems pretty gay. I feel like Dreamcatcher has the advantage of being very different from their peers, which tends to draw in a lot of people from marginalized communities. Also, lesbians love Dami. I can attest to that. Also again, I feel like queer people love them across the board, regardless of their specific identity. Men, women, non-binary people, doesn't matter. They all love Dreamcatcher. They also had their song You and I played at Seoul Pride in 2018, despite the fact that they are not nearly as well known in Korea as they are internationally, which is a testament to their impact within the LGBT+ community. I don't know about you guys, but I just cannot imagine straight people turning up to Weki Meki songs. Like, the straights just do not appreciate them the way that we do. I have at least one source saying that Doyeon is popular among lesbians, and as a lesbian myself, bitch, I concur. Yoo-jung has also been quoted many times as saying that gender does not matter to her in terms of attraction. She also loves kissing her members, which doesn't necessarily translate into her having more gay fans, but it certainly doesn't hurt. I totally get why gays would love these girls. They're gorgeous, they're talented, they're sassy, they're cute, and they're all completely unique. I've already mentioned that Doyeon is very popular with queer women, but not nearly as popular as Chungha. Gay women love Chungha, gay men love Chungha, non-binary people love Chungha, everyone loves Chungha. The voguing tribute and the Stay Tonight choreography, that was a cultural reset, sis. Even though this group has been disbanded for years, the support from the queer community is still going strong. According to Google Trends, there was 30% more interest for them in San Francisco compared to LA and other regions of California. I think that pretty much speaks for itself. I feel like this group has a triple whammy. 1, lesbians like myself typically really love Amber, and for good reason. She's hot. She even got straight girls questioning their sexuality. Also very popular among women who like women is Crystal, who to me reads kind of like a Korean Kristen Stewart. And by that I mean straight men think she's kind of bitchy, but gay women are obsessed with her. In fact, I found 2 separate articles in which gay women voted on their favorite female idol, and Crystal was included in both lists and even came in at number 1 on one of them. And that list also included Amber at number 11, by the way. As if that wasn't enough, Luna's Free Somebody is absolutely considered to be a gay anthem. It was played at Seoul Pride in 2018 and continues to be treasured by absolutely every gay K-pop fan that I know. Amber has also been very vocal about her support for the community, showing gay storylines in several of her music videos both before and after officially leaving SM. So basically, loving FX is gay culture. I don't make the rules.
Wow, fantastic, baby.
Some of y'all younger K-pop fans may not know this, but back in the day, Big Bang's fanbase was pretty freaking gay. Both G-Dragon and T.O.P. have been consistently popular amongst gay men, and they have been quietly supporting the LGBT+ community for years. They aren't like hitting up pride parades or anything, but they do have gay and trans friends whom they publicly support, and they both draw a lot from queer culture in their personal styles, and they do so very respectfully. Much more respectfully than they draw from black culture, but that's a completely different issue entirely. Like many other groups on this list, Big Bang are innovators, and there's nothing gayer than disrupting societal norms. So I don't personally know a lot of gay mom babies in real life, but I always see tons of them all over the internet. It seems like Wano is the undisputed favorite, which makes sense, but Shonu is also pretty high up there as well. Now, I'm not a gay man, so I can't really speak on that experience, but I do know that Monsta X is full of muscly, well-groomed men who dance really well and make music that is somewhat aggressive by typical K-pop standards, and I totally get why that would be appealing to gay men in particular. Also, they just give off really gay-friendly vibes, you know?
No matter who you are, where you come from, or who you love, I love each and every single one of you the same.
We have no choice but to stand. They say 1 in 5 people is gay, so that's at least 4 NCT members. I'm just saying. For me personally, I feel like NCT is one of the most gay-friendly groups. They have so many people from so many different countries, and their fan base is so diverse, and they genuinely seem so chill with all kinds of people. Like, not one of them gives me homophobic vibes. I feel like the undisputed gay favorites of NCT are Taeyong and Ten. This is evidenced by the campaign to make Baby Don't Stop the official theme song of Seoul Pride 2018. Haechan, Jaemin, and Jungwoo are also very popular among queer people I know, and we all know that lesbians love Doyoung, myself included. Plus, we can't forget Utah's undying love for Win-Win and Mark, or the time that he basically said trans rights. So yeah, not the gayest fan base, unfortunately, because the barrier to entry is kind of high, but I feel like their popularity amongst gays will continue to grow as their general popularity does.
You make me feel special. 세상에 아무리 날 주저앉혀도 아프고 말들이 날 찔러도 네가 있어 난 다시 웃어. That's what you do.
Twice is an interesting case because I feel like they are equally beloved by queer men and women. Like, girls think they're hot and gay men think they're queens, which they absolutely are in both cases. I've spoken pretty honestly about the fact that Twice aren't really my thing, but I can definitely see why so many gays love them. They're very open with their support for the community, which is rare for a big three group. They often recommend songs by queer artists and movies and TV shows depicting queer relationships. One of their beloved choreographers looks like this. They actively fought to be able to perform Lady Gaga's Born This Way on tour, and again, if 1 in 5 people are queer, that's at least 2 girls in Twice. I'm not gonna speculate on which ones, because that's none of my business, but I'm sure there was someone who popped into your head. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. Again, I don't really want to make a habit out of assuming people's sexualities, but Key's very sassy attitude does seem to resonate with a lot of gay people. Plus, Taemin is sexy in a very gender-neutral, androgynous sort of way that queer people seemed really drawn to. I often joke with my girlfriend that Taemin is the only man I would leave her for, and I stand by that. And of course, there's our precious angel Jonghyun, who wrote a lot of music about feeling depressed and lonely and outcasted, which unfortunately a lot of gay people can relate to. He's also openly supported the community at a time when it was not really considered socially acceptable to do so, at least not in Korea. I do honestly believe that his heartfelt sentiments towards marginalized communities exponentially grew SHINee's international fanbase, and it's such a shame that he's no longer around to see how much he meant to so many people. Ace is still somewhat unknown in Korea, but their international fanbase is incredibly strong, and growing stronger each day. Speaking as an LGBT+ fan, I really appreciate their efforts to divert toxic masculinity. They're all feminists, and the leader of their company, who happens to be a woman, has always encouraged them to be informed on social issues, which is amazing and refreshing in the world of K-pop. And I think that gays really are attracted to that. Also, they're hot, so that doesn't hurt. They're also the last boy group that we're going to talk about in this video, so get ready for the girls, whom all gays evidently know are superior. Not gonna lie, this one did surprise me a little bit. I guess I'm not really that huge of a G-Friend fan, so I didn't really know the fan base all that well, but having done some research, it seems pretty freaking gay. These girls have had several songs played at Pride, and they have multiple songs and music videos that specifically tackle queer themes, which we love to see. The girls have also stated on many occasions that they support the LGBT+ community, and Sinbi and Eunha have both made an appearance on the Korean lesbians' favorite idols list, so I'm sorry for doubting you ladies. I think most of the queer Blackpink support comes from the fact that they're talented, gorgeous, and make really good songs that everyone loves. But there's also the fact that 3 out of the 4 members were raised, or at least spent a significant amount of time outside of Korea, meaning they were likely exposed to more gay people growing up, and are therefore more inclined to openly support their LGBT+ fans. Of course, there's this iconic image of them draped in a pride flag. There's also the half-dozen lesbians I know who are hardcore rosé stans. Plus, several first-hand accounts of Blackpink being excited to meet their fans' same-sex partners. Also, this is completely my own observation, so take this with a grain of salt, but I feel like a lot of the backlash that Blackpink has received in recent years has completely missed the LGBT+ portion of their fanbase. Like, K-pop gays be hella loyal. So yes, Blackpink is very popular in general, but don't underestimate their power within the queer community. Again, another group full of queens who make great music and challenge the ideas of what a typical K-pop idol should do or look like. They're so beautiful and body positive, and they were also one of the first big girl groups I can think of to publicly come out in support of the queer community. I'm sure a lot of this had to do with the freedom they had thanks to practically building their company from the ground up, but it was still a really nice gesture nonetheless. They have had a music video that explicitly shows a relationship between two women. Also, Hyorin specifically seems to appreciate gay culture, and it has basically earned her an army of gay fanboys, and she's talented as hell, so I can't really blame them. Speaking of an army of gay fanboys, CL is another female idol who has one of those. She, especially in recent years, seems very open with her support of the LGBT community, and we love that for her. Also, she's freaking gorgeous and one of my very first K-pop crushes, and I would pay her to step on me. I'm sure many of my other K-pop lesbians would agree. Again, I feel like a broken record saying this, but they were a very groundbreaking group. They made music that was very powerful and uplifting, and in doing so paved the way for so many other female idols to do the same. The epitome of an iconic K-pop group, not only did they have several songs played at Pride in the last couple of years, but those songs were clearly some of the crowd's absolute favorites. So I'm sure most of you were expecting this group. It's kind of a meme at this point that all lesbian K-pop fans stan LOONA, and with good reason. First of all, look at them. Second of all, they have had several music videos with lesbian subtext, and one that is specifically dedicated to queer and other marginalized people. They very clearly love their gay fanbase and do their best to make art that appeals to them, which is greatly appreciated. They've had several songs played at Pride, as well as several members listed among the favored by lesbians, namely Chu, Eves, and Olivia Hye. I feel like I don't really need to spend too much time on this one. You all know that LOONA fans are gay. I do want to mention, however, that the three groups that are ahead of them all have more notoriety and much larger fan bases comparatively. So the fact that LOONA has still managed to rank so highly on this list is a testament to their gay power. Ah, Girls' Generation, SNSD. These girls are perhaps even more treasured by gay men than Beyoncé, which is a bold statement, I know, but I still feel it to be the case. Taeyeon is often cited as one of the most popular idols among gay men, but she's also very popular among lesbians, coming in at number 5 and 12 on the list that I keep referencing. Also making those lists are Yuna and Tiffany, and speaking of Tiffany, she is a huge supporter of the community as well. She has given really long and thoughtful messages about how much strength and inspiration the LGBT community has given to her, plus her solo discography is just full of gay anthems, especially Run For Your Life.
Now walk.
Run for your life.
So one of my personal favorite K-pop groups that I feel is incredibly beloved by lesbians and other women who like women is Red Velvet.
A common mistake that many new K-pop fans will make is pronouncing as Red Velvet. This is actually incorrect. Although it does look like it is pronounced this way, it is actually pronounced, say it with me, River Loves, lesbian cult.
I'm definitely a little bit biased here, but I feel that that's justified considering that I'm part of the group I'm trying to collect data from. There's also the fact that when I went to a Red Velvet concert last year, I went with my girlfriend and best friend who are bi and asexual respectively. The girl standing next to us kept holding hands and screaming things like, maybe I'm even more gay than I thought, so I think it's pretty safe to assume that they were part of the community as well. And there was also a masculine presenting person on the other side of us who was wearing heels and a pride flag, so if I take those people into consideration, plus me and my crew, that's at least 6 of the 21 people in that row of the stadium that night who were LGBT+. If you use that ratio as a basis for the overall stadium, it works out to be almost 29% of people in attendance that night, which is a lot considering that the general population is estimated to only be 4.5% LGBT+. Also, both articles I found on Korean lesbians' favorite idols included all 5 members and had Irene and Seulgi at the very top, and it's easy to understand why. Even with their sexiest or cutest songs, they never really seem to be catering towards male audiences. They're just genuinely themselves, which the gays love. They haven't always been as vocal in their support as they could have been, but that's because SME is obsessed with being politically correct. They're definitely aware of and love their LGBT fanbase though. There's like the entire Bad Boy music video, the rainbow outfits in Peekaboo, the constant theme of killing men, them getting excited over gay street signs, and the fact that they released a song called Parade during Pride Month, which is literally about everyone being welcomed and accepted at the parade. Seems pretty gay to me. Going into this, I definitely thought either Red Velvet or Mamamoo would be number 1, and Mamamoo ended up winning by a landslide. These girls are so talented, everyone loves them, but what gives them clout in the queer community specifically is their very active and vocal support. Moonbyul put out a message for International Coming Out Day earlier this year that was so heartfelt and sweet that it made me almost cry. Again, all of the girls are genuinely themselves and do their best to make innovative and groundbreaking music and performances, and queer people love that, especially since breaking the mold is already a very inherently queer thing to do. They've also made it a point to play at very many LGBT+ locations and events in Korea that most mainstream artists would refuse to be associated with. They also had the most songs played at Pride with a whopping 7 over the last 2 years, most of them being Moonbyul solos. Also, all 4 members made the top 10 of both lists I've been referring to throughout this video, and they're very comfortable with each other, which leads to interactions like this. Okay, so those are the K-pop groups who are the most popular among the LGBT+ community. I really hope that you like this video, and even if you disagree with my scoring system, please respect all of the work that went into researching and calculating. As with any good research project, several sources I used will be linked in the description below. I'd also like to take this moment to briefly remind everyone that we would not have Pride Month without the efforts of trans women of color, so please give as much support as you can to the Black Lives Matter movement and do your part to help dismantle systemic racism. There's also a link in the description for ways you can do that. Peace out, gays. See you next time.